New York, 1856. Meet Edward Clark, a lawyer, not an inventor, and the reason you can walk out of a shop today holding something you have not paid for. His company sells a machine that costs about $125 in a country where a working man makes around $500 a year. Nobody is buying. Stay to the end and tell me whether what he did next was a gift or a trap.
The machine is a Singer sewing machine, and it is genuinely good. Cast iron, treadle, a needle that goes up and down about 900 times a minute, faster than any hand alive. In a shop window on Broadway, a girl demonstrates one all day, and crowds stand 3 deep to watch. They watch. They do not buy. So let's do what we always do here. Let's pull up a payslip. Not Clark's, yours. You are a seamstress in a room off Mott Street, and you sew shirts by hand for a contractor who brings the bundles up the stairs. Gross, about 6 cents a shirt. A good week, working from light to dark, is $2, sometimes $3. Now the deductions, and there are always deductions. Thread, out of your own pocket. Needles, too, and they break. Candles, because the light goes at 4 in winter and the shirts do not. Rent for the room where you both sleep and work. Take home, honestly counted, a few dollars a month, and every one of them already spoken for. So look at the machine again. $125. Not a luxury you skip. A year of your life, sewn shirt by shirt. The thing that would triple what your hands can do is priced out of reach of the hands that need it. That is not an accident of the market. It is priced for a parlor, and parlors pay cash. Clark looks at that and asks a question nobody in his industry is asking because they are all still arguing about castings. We are not selling too dear, he says. We are asking on the wrong day. What if she does not buy the machine at all? What if she rents it and the rent quietly turns into owning it? $5 down, $3 a month. Everything that happens to your household over the next 30 years starts with that one line. $5 is still real money to you. 2 weeks of shirts. But you can see the end of it. That is the whole invention. Nothing inside the machine changed. The needle is the same needle. The price stopped being a wall and became a staircase. Walls you look at. Stairs you climb one at a time without deciding to. New century, new hope. Maybe this is the one where the worker keeps the whole gain. On the first of the month, a man comes up your stairs because that is the day the agent's book says, and the agent works on commission. $3, he says, not unkindly, already writing. Say it with me, there is always a middleman. This one even has a root. And here's the part that turns a payment plan into an empire. Clark also offers $50 for your old machine. Any old machine. Broken, rusted, a competitor's, one you found in a yard? $50 off, trade it in. Customers think they are being handed a bargain. They are. They are also handing him every rival machine in America to be quietly destroyed. You complain about a subscription you forgot to cancel. She had a man on the stairs with a book on the first every month for 3 years. Miss one, and the machine went back down the stairs the same way it came up. Nobody had to argue. The paper had already agreed. So what does she actually pay? 5 down, then 3 a month until it is cleared. Add it honestly, and it comes out well past the $125 on the tag. She pays more than the rich woman on Fifth Avenue who wrote one check and never thought about it again. That is the oldest rule in this ledger. It is expensive to be poor, and the expense is charged as convenience. Now, the myth, because there is always a myth. Ask who invented the sewing machine, and a lot of people will say Singer. Isaac Singer did not invent it. The lock-stitch patent belonged to Elias Howe, and Howe took him to court and won. Singer's company ended up paying Howe for every machine it sold. Isaac improved the thing, loudly and well. He did not father it. And Isaac himself is worth 30 seconds because he is not the man the brass plate suggests. He is a failed actor who toured as Isaac Merritt and kept going back to the stage between engineering jobs. He is loud and he is enormous, and he treats a showroom like a theater, which is exactly why the machine ends up behind plate glass with an audience instead of in a catalog. He also has, and this is the documented part, some 24 children across several households in several cities, most of whom do not know the others exist.
When it comes out, he leaves for Europe and stays there. Clark keeps the company. That division of labor tells you everything. One man made it famous, the other made it work. So the showroom is Isaac's instinct, and the paperwork is Clark's, and neither alone sells anything. A girl demonstrating in a window with free lessons upstairs brings the crowd in. The form on the counter is what lets the crowd leave carrying something. Half a theater, half a contract. Which leaves an awkward question for a company named after him. If you did not invent the machine and you cannot make it cheapest, and the courts have you paying a rival for every unit, what exactly are you selling? Time. That is the answer, and it is worth saying plainly. Singer did not win the sewing machine war on stitches, because on stitches it was never far ahead. It won on a piece of paper. That paper let a woman with $2 a week take the machine home tonight and settle up with a version of herself who has not lived yet. And it worked at a scale nobody was ready for. Within 20 years, the company is selling hundreds of thousands of machines a year and building factories on 2 continents. Not because the machine got 3 times better, because the payment got $3 small. Here's the bit I find genuinely difficult, and I have audited a lot of centuries. For her, it was real. The machine did what the advertisement said. Shirts that took a day took an hour. She took work from 2 contractors instead of 1. Her daughter learned on the same treadle and made better money than her mother ever did in that room. So this is not a story where somebody gets robbed. That is what makes it interesting. She got the machine, he got the market. And the thing that made both of those true was a form with 2 numbers on it, which required no invention at all. But look at what the form does to the arithmetic of a household. Before it, you could only own what you had already earned. After it, you can own what you are going to earn. And the difference between those 2 sentences is the entire modern economy. Your car, your phone, the sofa you are sitting on, quite possibly. Now the part the advertisement leaves out. A machine that makes 1 woman 3 times faster in her own room makes 100 women 3 times faster in somebody else's. Within a generation, the shirts move out of tenement rooms and into lofts full of rented machines, rows of them. And the woman who owns her treadle is now competing with a whole floor of women who do not. And the piece rate follows the speed down, because the contractor is not paying for cloth. He is paying for time, and yours just got cheaper. "You're quicker now," he says, dropping the bundle. 4 cents. She is faster, she is earning, and the number on the bundle is smaller than it was. Both true at once. That is the uncomfortable middle of this story. Here is where I put my cards down, and I will admit I got this one wrong for years myself. We are usually told the 19th century was transformed by iron and steam, the engine, the rail, the loom. Look at the ledgers, and something quieter did as much work, a clerk's idea about when money has to arrive. The machines changed what could be made. The installment changed who was allowed to have it, and that turned out to be the bigger lever. And once the trick exists, it does not stay in sewing. Pianos go out on time payments, then encyclopedias, then cars, then everything. By the 1920s, an American family can furnish an entire house on paper, and the phrase for it is already ordinary: buying on the installment plan. You have met this form yourself, and recently. It does not come up your stairs anymore. It is a button at the checkout that says 4 payments, no interest, and it is sitting under a pair of trainers. Same shape. 5 down, 3 a month, 170 years later, with better fonts. And the reason it survived 170 years is not that it fools anybody. It is that it is genuinely useful about half the time. The seamstress needed the machine to earn. Somebody splitting a washing machine into 4 payments is doing what she did. Somebody splitting a takeaway into 4 payments is doing something else, and the form cannot tell the difference. It was never designed to. So walk back through it with me. You are up 3 flights with a bundle of shirts and thread you paid for yourself. There is a machine on Broadway behind glass that would change your hands into something else, and it costs a year. A man comes up your stairs on the 1st of the month and you hand him $3, and it is worth it. $5 down, and everything after it, right up to the phone in your hand at a till, is the same sentence in different clothes.
So, better than your paycheck or worse? The machines themselves are still out there, by the way. Cast iron, gold lettering, treadles that still turn. People buy them for hallways now and put a plant on top. It is a strange afterlife for the most expensive thing that household ever owned. They measured it out $3 at a time on the first, up 3 flights of stairs. Subscribe. It is the only line in this ledger that never asks for 5 down. And settle it for me down below. Was that form the thing that let her work, or the thing that taught everybody to owe? I read the ledger and I read the comments. There is a day on this channel where a man ordered an entire house out of a book and it arrived in 2 railway boxcars, 30,000 numbered pieces. The middleman there wears a station master's cap.